Alright guys, what's going on today? Rick here. Rick there. Big Rick, little Rick. And we have slacked. I'm gonna be honest with you. We have slacked. We've gotten a whole bunch of footage of sinking posts and getting some good footage, but not necessarily even explaining what we've been doing. And so we're pretty much, this is going to be us explaining kind of how to put up or run a fence. Pretty sure I've explained this to you guys in the past, but what we're doing is we're moving the bucks over here. The reason why we're doing that is because whenever we initially started to, and I apologize for the wind, initially what our plan was is to go ahead and have this over here as vegetable garden, and just maybe some added fruit trees. We got fruit trees up front, but maybe some more fruit trees right here. And we made sure to reinforce the buck pen with hardly using any T-post whatsoever. We used a ton of the 6 to 8 inch wooden posts, and it's done a really good job of keeping the bucks in the buck paddock or in the buck pasture. What it has not been good at is keeping the does, when they're in heat, away from the bucks. And so what we're doing now is we're gonna try to completely separate the bucks from the does. And that's, like I said, that's what me and my dad are working on right now. It's what me and Papa are working on right now. LaLa will be helping. Let's jump right into it. So after you've gotten your posts lined up, in whatever increment that you want, these right here, these are going to be your H braces. We just don't have the actual ACE or H brace up yet, but there will be everywhere where there's an orange mark right here, that'll measure. Usually measure ours out to about 6 foot, but there will be H braces that run from here to there, and then from here to here once we get this post in. And once you have your H braces done, where all your fence or where all your gates are going to be, at that point you want to go ahead and you want to measure out how many posts you need. How many wooden posts you need, and then the T-post will go in between that. That's the metal posts. Now, how far in between these wooden posts? What's the length in between the wooden posts? Because the wooden posts are really where the structural integrity of the fence is. Correct?
Correct. Well, it comes from two things. It comes from the side that you put the fence onto, and that'll make better sense as we kind of get in the video, but you want the fence on the side that is going to contain the animals. So in order for them to get out, they have to push through the fence and through the wooden posts.
That is something that you'll see a lot of other people in the way they do their fencing. Regardless of what side the animal is on, they always put their fencing on the outside of the perimeter, or the outside perimeter. There you go.
And when they do that, the only thing really that's holding the fence on is not the post that you're putting. That's just holding the fence upright. When you put it on the opposite side of where your animals are, the only thing that's holding those animals in are the staples that you're attaching the fence to the wooden post with.
And the flimsy little metal pieces that you attach the fence to the T-post to.
Correct. So you want the fence on the side that is going to contain the animals, which is why as you see later in the video, the fence will be on the inside, not on the outside. So to answer Rick's question about spacing, so there's only 2 spacings throughout the entire fence. On the corners, there's 7 foot in between the actual corner brace and where the other side of the H-brace is going to be. An H-brace are the supports on either end of the fence that hold the fence, give the fence strength when we start pulling the fence taut, because it's a high tensile 4x4 goat fence. So that's really the spacing. The spacing in between the other posts are 40 foot, and in between those 40 foot, then we put a T-post, a metal T-post at every 8 feet. So you'll see over here on the other side, I know that the spacing is not 40 feet, but on the other side of that is really going to be a garden over there. So that's kind of an exception to the rule. But generally speaking, the fence is going to be 7 foot on the corners and 8 foot or 40 foot in between each of the wooden posts. So that's what we're doing today. We're finishing up the 4th of 4 sides of this new buck pen.
Like I said, we'd already done a lot of this, and we got a lot of good footage, but it really wasn't of us explaining what we were doing. And so the explaining portion is now coming on more or less the last side that we actually have to put the posts on and all that kind of stuff. And then we'll walk you guys through the fencing portion. If it's not in this video, it'll be in a future video. And this will probably end up being like a part 1 or a part 2 or a part 3 series, or a part 2 or a part 3 series. So I gotta go help the old man. He's trying to pick up posts by himself, and he needs some strength. All right, so right now we're just gonna more or less level and see where our posts go.
Yeah.
Now we have this stringer. I don't know. There you go. You guys can see it now. All right, now we got this stringer. It's lined up on a post down there, and it's lined up and it's attached to a post down here. And what we do is we run that. It's really taut. It's a really taut line. It just gives us a straight line to go off of. That way, whenever we're setting our posts in the ground, nothing's too wonky. You don't want wonky posts to put your fence on. Wonky's in the dictionary, I think. Pretty sure.
Wonky's in the dictionary. So normally we would run these sides. There's going to be gates here. Normally you'd run this string line from corner to corner. That way every single post is in line with that. We've got a gate that's going to go down there, so I just didn't want to walk all the way down to the other end. So those are already lined up. So we're only running this string line from where the gate's going to the far corner post. So what we're going to do is show you how to kind of line up the post, how we're setting the process for each one of these posts. And it's just, by the time this project's done, we'll have repeated this process about 60 times. So this is just one example.
Also, you want to make sure that your post is on the right side of the stringer. If it's not on the right side of the stringer, then again, you're going back to wonky posts.
So we went through and we've marked every 40 foot. We've put an orange mark on the ground, and that's just a rough spot as to where we're going to put each post. That's not where the post sits. That's just the measurement when we look along the string line of where each post is going to get. So to mark the actual positioning of the post, we kind of do just some rough positioning. So we got to get this level this way so that it's right on the string. So we know we got to kick that in a little bit further. So now we're level there, but if we look at the string, we're pushing out on it, so we've got to bring it out some. level there, and when we look at the string, we're right on that. So that's going to be the positioning of this post where we're going to put the actual auger hole. You got it?
Yep.
So once we've got the position marked where the actual post is actually going to be, then we just put a little ring around that. That's not something you see other people doing, but we have found in all of our fencing work that it makes positioning the auger to drill the hole exactly where we want it pretty easy to do. So that's essentially a bullseye for the auger. And then we pull the post back.
That was exaggerated.
So then we'll pull the post back as Rick just did, and now we're going to back the tractor in. Ricky will help me line the auger up. Then we'll drop it and drill this hole. So we had a catastrophe of our last level. We stepped on it, so we're going to the backup. We were level and right on the line. Once we get the post level going in and out toward the line, then we fill it up. We're using 1 bag of concrete per post on this project because these are larger posts. These are 6 to 7 inch posts. So that's the next step. Put in the concrete. 1 gallon of 1 gallon of water per bag of concrete.
We use the fast setting red bags. They just seem to be faster.
So we've already set the post in and out. So once we put the concrete in, we've got something in there that we're maneuvering the post around. So we'll set it in and out, which lines up on the string. And then we will set it left to right to make sure it's vertically good. Add the 1 gallon of concrete or 1 gallon of water to the concrete, and this post done.